Thank you, Vanita. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Anandan. I'm the part of the organizing committee for Young Technopreneurs Challenge. Welcome to the online training and Q&A session. Hopefully, I shall present some information first. So even though the title says online training, it's more of a question and answer session. But to trigger you to ask some questions, I shall present some information that's needed for your business writing. Okay, allow me to share. You can stop me at any time and ask some questions verbally, or you can scribble something down on the chat, and then I shall answer you either verbally or on the chat again as I see whichever fits best. I've sort of summarized. There's some background noise. I would appreciate it if all of you can mute yourselves and then unmute when it's necessary for you to ask something. On a summary, we want to give you a concise form of how to write a business plan. First of all, let me state the learning outcome. Okay. It's a challenge, it's a competition. YTC is a challenge and a competition, but more so it's an educational project. Our main purpose is not to only to create budding young entrepreneurs, but also more to introduce you to entrepreneurship. What does that entails? We hope by participating in this competition, you will be introduced to foremost business model. Second, get a bit more understanding of the marketing and customer segments. Get a more in-depth knowledge of revenue, costs, and profit based on an actual product or service that you are thinking of bringing into the market. Give you a little bit more understanding on the intellectual property or the rights of your ideas, and exposure to write a business plan, as well as how to prepare and pitch or deliver the business plan. Let's kick off by sort of asking ourselves again, even though many of us know in general what business is, but then some of us may not be familiar with what a business model is. Okay? Of course, the main motive of business is to make money by either transacting, producing, anywhere in the chain of a product being thought of until the end customer buys them. Okay? A business model, however, describes how you will create, deliver, and capture value which you sell to a customer. Value meaning when you transact a product or service to a customer, and the customer in return feels what he or she is getting is valuable enough for them to give you money in return. Okay? In business, new product development covers the complete process of bringing a new product to market. Okay? Not necessarily business means new product. Okay? So business entails the whole sort of transactions. Okay? But what we are looking at is for young people to become entrepreneur, they should think of some innovative ideas of products or services where they can introduce it as a new product, which will give you an edge if the product or service becomes successful, which will push you to become an entrepreneur, eventually a very successful entrepreneur. Thank you very much for registering to be part of YTC 2024. Okay. And all of you know that one of the requirements for to be part of this challenge is to be able to present a business plan. Okay. You should be clear of this information that we request from you, the state or the country, the school name or the team name, and the team member's name. Okay. The business plan should also be very clear about the product description. Okay, so your business plan surely must precisely explain what the product is or the product description is. Okay. In short, explain to us what is the problem your product or service is trying to solve. Obviously, if you want to have a service or product of some value, it should be able to solve somebody's problem to some level of convenience. Okay? Describe your product and how it helps to solve a problem or elevate customer satisfaction. Okay, but you can include a little bit more detail, either a diagram or a picture of the product that you or service that you think you want to be able to present in this challenge. You must give us an idea of the business model. Business model meaning what is your plan to implement your idea into a product or service for the target market. For example, this is an important aspect of a business model. Huh? Obviously, business model entails a bit more whom your targets are. For example, are you going to sell this in a subscription model or upfront cash model or sell it at the counter sale? Okay, how are you going to bring it to your customer? Is it just an online product? If it's an online product, how would they know if it's a new product or something that they're not familiar with? So you must be clear that how are you going to bring that product to your customer? This is an important aspect of the business model. Business model also entails all other aspects, some other aspects that I will go through in the later slides. Huh? Identify the customer segment or the target market. This is crucial. Otherwise, you cannot estimate how much or many to make as well as your gross profit. So you must have a target segment and be realistic how many or how much of that target segment can you reach. Of course, business plan definitely aims to identify the revenue streams, meaning how would you get money? How would you get that money from? What are the channels of getting the revenue? Huh? What will generate money? Selling the product, selling the service, renting the product? Is it a one-time revenue or a recurring revenue? Okay. Obviously, some of the best model may entail recurring revenue. That means, for example, I give you a phone free, then I ask you to subscribe to the network service, and then I collect monthly network service. That's a recurring. But not every product can go into that sort of recurring revenue model. It's okay if you have a one-time revenue model. Okay, just that you must be clear of it. You must state what is the cost structure in your business plan. What is the cost of development or producing or manufacturing your product or service? So you must have an estimate of what is the cost. What is your startup's fixed cost and variable cost? Okay, fixed cost meaning if you are renting a place, you are hiring some people, it's fixed. Some variable cost could be different channels of marketing. It could vary from month to month. Okay, so think of all possible costs for your product. Okay, example is given. For example, equipment and costs. A simple estimate of this cost is sufficient as far as YTC is concerned. For example, you don't have to call up someone, get a quotation, and then get an idea of the price. Okay? That is good, but that's not what we are really looking at. As long as the estimation of a cost is good enough, then that's fine. Okay, so make some educated guess. Of course, you can obviously make an educated guess by Googling, searching, and then you know, hey, this is the price range. Also, by estimating your cost, you can state what's the selling price. Okay, what is the selling price of your product? Get an idea, how do you justify that price? If you're selling at 40% more, why? How did you roughly come to that number of, I need 50% or 40% more than the cost? The next thing that you must also think when you're pricing or when you want to sell something, what's the price to put, is to think of the buyer. Would people buy your product or service at this price? Is there other product or service similar to yours in the market? What are your competitors or main competitor with similar product doing or selling at? Why would the customer buy your product if it is slightly more priced compared to your competitor? Even if you're pricing it lower, you must also think, why would they buy it lower from you? Okay, there are reasons why customers buy higher product or more expensive products. So you must carefully set a selling price based on your cost and what sort of edge, competitive edge you have, as well as what value are you giving to your potential customers. What are we stating now? So actually, I've given one training earlier on some of these details. But today, because we want to kick off some questions from you. So I'm reiterating, stating back, what are the major components of a business plan? So that you know, hey, this is business plan is something that I must submit as part of the competition. Okay. So what are the key things that we're looking at? Okay. For example, profit. So you will have a profit, which is a gross profit, revenue minus cost. What is your IP? Meaning, how are you going to protect your product? Okay. I mean, there are many ways. For example, a copyright, depending on how easy or difficult a product is. If it is really technical, then it's good to secure that idea with an IP. Of course, IP costs a bit of money, but at least you can give us an idea, how are you going to protect your idea? We want every young entrepreneurs to think along IP. Even if you think that initially your product may not have an IP, you may think so. But as you develop the product a bit more and more, naturally innovations will come to solve problems that existed of the initial product. With that, we also want you to attach one-page business model canvas. Well, as the name states, the canvas is like a visual representation of your business model. It's a canvas, okay, where we want you to put. So in the business plan, we need all those aspects that I stated earlier, as well as a business canvas, business model canvas. Okay. Business model canvas is a visual representation of current or new business model. The canvas provides a holistic view of the business as a whole and is especially useful in running a comparative analysis, meaning it's a concise visual representation of your business model. So we can easily compare, hey, that business model is better or this business model is better. Let's look at a summary of that in the visual form. As I'm stating these on the slides, now the way you should write your business plan is not by putting, just by answering to the questions or to the segments that I'm putting on my left. You should write this as a paragraph. Okay, so your business plan should be paragraphed. So it should be a write-up that has all these elements inside your business plan. This is an example of the business model canvas. Okay, so these are the key items. Of course, it's like a one pager that should have some of these main components. For example, partners, activities, proposition, relationships, segments, channels, revenue streams, cost structure, and key resources. You can see there is a link on this slide telling you where this is obtained from. So the business model canvas are available. So you just sort of download and then you fill up those information. This is an additional item or important item of the business plan. Again, we are restating what should the business model canvas should have. The partners, activities. Okay. Here, they have stated that word value proposition. For the benefit of some or many of you, let me read that off and sort of tell you what we are looking at. Value proposition is what core value do you deliver to the customer? In other words, why would they want to buy your product? How your product or service is solving a problem that they have now? Or which customer needs are you satisfying? An example, okay? A lot of customers are propelled to buy iPhone. So iPhone is a smartphone and there are hundreds of other smartphones. But what is the value proposition? Why are many of us willing to pay a bit more and get that smartphone called iPhone? Because iPhone offers a value proposition. And most of the value proposition of iPhone is technical. Okay, it manages files better, it gives you better reach of internet, okay, better email messaging systems, so better apps, seamless integration between apps over time. It has built. Okay, so for that value proposition, people are willing to queue up and pay more and buy that product. So the value proposition is something that you should think of, no matter how small your product is. Okay, customer relationship, customer segment, that's obvious in the sense, first you want to target the customer. Assuming some of the targeted customer buys your product, now they become your customer. Once they become your customer, you want to keep that relationship. How do you keep that relationship? What do you offer that they will come back to you? When you introduce a new model, they will come back to you. Or they will ask, when is the new model coming? What other things are you selling? So that all happens because you have a strong customer relationship, which is planned and built from day one. Some other thing that a business canvas model should have, resources, distribution channel. Maybe let me state a little bit about distribution channel. Many of the new entrepreneurs that I'm seeing today are thinking of distribution channel is an easy thing. Well, if I have something, I just put it on internet or put it on a e-platform, and then customer will buy. Okay, and the channel is, for example, Lazada or Shopee will be the channel. They will get those products back to the customer in the right way. Okay, but not necessarily so. Okay, not necessarily so. For example, I had a friend, maybe, okay, a sort of friend who tried frozen chapati on e-platform. Okay, meaning They are selling frozen chapati on e-platform. To make things, the revenue, the distribution channel easy, they use the e-platform. Okay? Yes, it does sell. Okay, it does sell. But, okay, customers will try in the beginning. But you must understand, the product must be kept frozen depending on how efficient the distribution channel is. Some product can be sent within the same days. Some may take 1 or 2 days. Some, due to some problem of warehousing, it can take more. And this will cause a big problem. Customers will not come back again and buy if they find the first product that they received through e-platform channel is not to their satisfactory. So we must be very careful matching the product to the distribution channel. So we expect you, okay, this is an example that the business canvas that has been filled up. Okay. Earlier I showed an empty business canvas with key elements. So this shows you somewhere that it has filled up. Okay. So this, the canvas way of, you can fill up in bullet form, point form. That's okay. So the competition needs you to give us a business plan and a business canvas model. So the business canvas model is a summary, a visual summary. The business plan is a detailed plan, properly written. Now, where do we use this business plan? Okay. Obviously, if you're a new business person or want to do business, a good business plan helps you from two big channels. One is from banks. If you have a company and you have a banking partner for your company, a business plan helps the bank to evaluate your product further to give you more support in terms of finance or loan. The other thing is from investors, potential investors into your company or into your entrepreneurship. You need to give them a proper business plan. They need to be convinced, this is good, this is going to make money, this is surely what people need or customer needs. Okay, so these two segments of people, the financing banks as well as investors, because investors sometimes want to give more. What's the difference between bank and investors? Banks will give calculated amount of loan with some return. Investors will give a more. The amount that they can give is more, with, of course, targeting a portion of the business for themselves. So they would want 5-10% of the business themselves. They want to be owner, partly owner of the business. These are administrative stuff of the business plan. Okay? For this competition, YTC, you need to write a business plan report based on the content above. Okay, number of pages. Okay, we don't want you to sort of go too much. 5 pages. Paper size A4, font type times New Roman at 12. Okay, font size 12. Single spacing. You can write the content in paragraph format. It doesn't have to be in table form. In fact, paragraph is the best. Okay? The questions for each segment that we have given is to guide with the writing to write a full business plan. To participate, thank you. All of you have registered. The registration was very good. Okay. It's a team of 3 to 5%. We want you to work in a team. A lot of successful ideas may be initiated by one person, but become successful with the team. So you have submitted registration. Now what you need to think of is really prepare a business plan report and a business model canvas that summarizes the main ideas of the business plan. Now, the submission, The deadline is 15 May. And of course, we are looking at the teams and we will shortlist the teams. This is for category 1 and 2. I can't remember the detail. But I think for category 1, we're going to shortlist about 20 teams or something like that. Okay. You can ask Vanita later. Okay. Okay. Of course, our channel is open for you to ask questions and all. Now, let me come back to you now. So as I said in the very beginning, this is, I presented a little bit like a summary of what I've told earlier so that it triggers you some question. If you have something in your mind about a certain product or what you think you should write or shouldn't write, you can ask. So I'm going to open the floor for some questions. Vanita, just keep a check on me if there are any questions on the chat.
Okay, sir. Okay, noted.
Guys, come on. There are many of you. I'm sure you have some questions that you want to ask.
So, if the country chooses to sell, okay, there is one question from Subhashini. Sir, if the country we choose to sell is different, will be accepted?
That's not a problem. Your target customer can be anywhere. It's not confined to your locality. In fact, business is better elsewhere. Most of the time, business is better elsewhere. Watches made in Switzerland are bought worldwide. I'm not sure whether the Swiss are buying or not, but others are buying.
So, there is another one. Sir, can you explain more about the IP?
IP, okay.
From Raymond.
IP is actually a process and an authority. Okay, it's a process and an authority, meaning if I have an idea of a good product or something that I think is unique or innovative, can solve problem and has potential business. That means it can be turned into a business to make profit. I want to be able to protect it. So how do I protect it? It's not like I don't protect it by making it secret, by not telling it to anyone or not sharing it to anyone. That's not what it means. So IP allows you to file, like filing a case in a court. You file your idea in an IP office. So every country has an IP registration office. Okay, it requires a bit of money for you to register, and then you file it. The IP filing office will check through that this particular idea is not available elsewhere. And then once they're happy with it, they'll say, okay, we give you a IP number. If you obtain an IP number, your product is protected. Now you can open up, talk to anyone and sell. If somebody else is copying your idea and selling a similar product, now you have the legal rights to sue them or to get part of the revenue from the other company. So your rights are protected. That's what IP helps you.
So, we have another one. Do we have to make a prototype or just a 3D or 2D drawing?
Okay, good question. Okay. There are two categories of teams, okay, participants. Some teams, if they have been innovative enough, they would have already developed something, right? They would have already developed a product or a service. For this competition, we are not asking you to submit the product or service. We are not trying to physically show. Okay, it's good that you have. Okay, what we need is a diagram or a drawing. But if you already have a product, you can show us a picture. That's fine. So you don't have to share your actual product with us. And drawings are allowed, are fine too. Okay. I hope that answers that question.
Okay, thank
Any
you,
other
sir.
question, Vanita?
Yeah, sir. Hello, sir. Based on your experience, what is the most effective way to promote our product?
No, there is no single answer to this. Okay. It depends on what the product is and who are the target customers. Okay. For example, I'm going to give a very sort of a oversimplistic idea. Okay. If I want to, I don't know, sell a new fruit combo. Okay, I mix 5-6 fruit, it tastes well. How do I sell that fruit combo first? So I approach customers directly and sell. I don't want anything in between. I want to sell the combo fruit juice or combo fruit cubes directly to the customer. If it does well, if it goes well, then the next thing I would think is, how do I preserve it? If I can preserve it, if technology allows you to preserve it, that means I do some innovation on that initial product. Now I would to try to sell through freezers, meaning I go to coffee shops, restaurants, I put on their refrigerators, and I tell them, hey, you help me to sell, I give you some sort of a commission. So what channel depends on how a product is developing, who the target customer is, and what exactly the product is. It's very specific. There's nothing common about it. I want to sell an elephant. I cannot put it on the shop and sell an elephant, huh? Vanita, any more?
So the next one is, can you show us the example of business plan? And then do we have to do a website?
No, first question, the second question first. No, you don't have to do a website. For this competition, you don't have to do a website. Having said so, one of the most easiest and commonest thing the people are using to promote a product or a company is to have a website. Okay, so it has become almost important if you want to become an actual entrepreneur. One way to introduce your product and your company is through a website. Okay, you put all the information on the website, let it float on the internet. How many clicks or reach it will have depends. Of course, some companies also do some algorithm to accelerate the reach. That's another thing. Okay? The question, short answer is, for this competition, you don't have to do a website. What was the other thing? Oh, an example of a business plan. Well, I can't give you an example of a business plan here as it is now, but I'm not sure, Vanita, can we share an earlier business plan if on our webpage, on our webpage, if they want to see?
Can, sir, can. We can share on the webpage.
Okay. So to have that answer, okay. So you look at our webpage, asti.
YTC,
.org.
the one, yeah.
Okay. asti.org.my. then you should be able to see one or two samples of business plan.
They can check it out on the YTC 2024 webpage, sir. Maybe in
Okay,
2 days.
So it's on the screen as well.
Yeah. And we have another one, sir. How will our submission be graded?
Oh, you mean the business plan and the business canvas? Okay.
Mm.
After the closing date, we will look at all the submission. So we have a panel of judges. Okay. So we have a set of judges that's going to look at the your business plan submissions together with the business model canvas. Okay. We give them a sort of a grading score sheet. Okay. So there are more than one judge will judge a particular submission, and then we get all their marks, and then we average them up, and then we grade them. We sort of rank them up, and then we'll find the top 20, for example, top 20 ranked marks as shortlisted business plans. I hope that answered your question.
Okay, the next one, was mock-up needed when presenting to the judges?
Was mock-up needed when presenting? What do you mean by mock-up?
Maybe sample.
Meaning, okay,
the mock.
If you're shortlisted, okay, if you are shortlisted after submitting your business plan, then the next phase of the competition is pitching, business pitching. That means you have to go live with the judges and present that idea face to face, like online. So do you need a mock-up, or do you need a demo of something? If you have, of course, it will be very convincing when you go to the final judges, to the final level of competition, to say, hey, this is how my product is going to look. This is how it's going to solve this problem. It is not needed per se, but if you already have, that's very good. Okay. At this juncture of the competition, meaning your submission is now a business plan and business model canvas, you don't need a mock-up.
Okay, sir, the next one. Are there any qualities that you are looking for when grading the proposal that will help with the marks?
Okay,
Are there any qualities that...
Okay. Meaning, what are we looking as a good quality business model? Huh? In general, even though we have this criteria for the judges, where they grade according to that criteria, in general, we are looking for good idea. First of all, it's good idea. So good idea means it's a good product or service that really is innovative, okay? Not necessarily completely new, but innovative. Why? As much as there are so many products and services out there, there are equal number of problems. We are in 2024, yet we have humongous amount of problems. So if some of these products is innovative and tries to solve some of these nitty-gritty bit of problems, and customers may want it, that's it. Then your business plan looks very catchy and high quality. Now, having said that, the idea alone is not enough. Huh? The idea alone is not enough. You must also be clear what is the cost of the product, how much are you going to sell the product, whom are you going to sell the product to. If those information are not clear, then what's the point of having a very good idea? You don't know where to sell to, you don't know how much it costs, you don't know how much profit you're going to make, then might as well don't do business, right?
Okay, any more questions? Team? We have another 15 minutes to go.
I mean, you all can also ask questions verbally if you want, not a problem. Because sometimes verbal, I'll be able to listen to your actual question. You know, if something is in your mind and you want to know,
So there is one, hello sir, can you say example of the product?
okay. Example, okay, I'll just throw in something, okay? Let's say, okay? I don't know whether how technical this is or you will be able to relate or not. For example, drone is very popular now, okay? A lot of drones are being sold. China is one of the biggest world's drone maker, okay? But drone has a problem. The small battery operated drones has a problem. They don't have a big flying time. Their flying time is very short, maximum 15-20 minutes. People prefer longer flying time. That's why. Second, they have to bring the drone back and charge it. So that they don't have a proper remote charger to charge. So if we have a product that has a longer drone flying time or something that you can charge the drone remotely somewhere in this near the beach or at the jungle, then it's a good product. I mean, it is trying to solve a problem and a lot of people want it. That sort of idea. Huh? I hope I'm not overstating the idea. Huh?
So another one, is there any theme for the product?
Oh, you mean for this innovate, whether we have a theme for this competition, what sort of product it should be?
Yes, sir. Maybe.
Anita, I don't think we have, right? It can be
No,
any.
sir. Yeah, it can be any product.
It can be any
There's
product
no
or service or app. Okay. Why? Because the emphasis is on entrepreneurship. Normally, an entrepreneur doesn't stick to a product. Entrepreneurs have more than one idea. Huh? It can be an app as well. Okay. Of course, a lot of apps have some supporting system or hardware to support it. Okay. I don't know whether I should give an explanation or not.
So I have a few more here. Will we have another meeting after this? Are we
I
going
don't
to
know,
have another
depending on your
training?
request.
Yeah, it's depending on your request and depending on how many of you are able to attend.
I mean, if there is some specific questions and many of you wants to know, then I think we can support you by having another chat, another meeting.
Okay, so I have another one. Does our products technology need to be possible? Like, does it need to do a feasible and achievable and etc. Like the drone charger you mentioned?
Of course, okay? It has to be feasible. Otherwise, potential buyers are not convinced. If you give them a technology, or even if you say, hey, my product has this technology, it will work, okay? First of all, if they don't know what the technology is, at least they must see the technology working. Then only they are convinced. Otherwise, at least they must think, okay, I don't need to see the product, but they are using this particular technology, let's say wireless or Bluetooth charging. To them, it sounds reasonable. Then only. You cannot simply say X technology and then everything under the sky is possible. That will not work.
Okay, sir. There is next one. Does the product need any technology or science related?
Technically speaking, no. Okay, no. It can be a new ice cream, new rice variety. It could be just a new plastic, okay, one-off material. It could be some sort of an internet platform. It could be a business-to-business software that speeds things up. We call this B2B facilitation. It goes into everywhere. Okay? So it doesn't really have to be technical per se. Having said that, it's also true that in the modern world, many of the simplest things are already done. Okay, for example, I want to introduce a new candle. There are hundreds of candles already there. It doesn't really need a new technology. So if you want to sell a new candle, can. But you must tell us, how are you going to compete with the rest of the 100 candles? For that, sometimes we put in a bit more science and technology to make something more enhanced. Usually we put a bit more technology, but it's not necessary.
Okay, sir. We have another one. Like, sir, do we have to make a business plan first and submit it, then make a mock-up?
Okay. Let me say this again. A mock-up is not necessary. Okay, not necessary, not compulsory. I say it's good, but you are right. In order to be shortlisted for the final, you need to send in the business plan first. Once we announce the shortlisted teams, and if you are planning for the final, and you think you can make a mock-up, that's good. It will be added. But you don't need the mock-up to convince the judge. It helps a lot, but you don't have to.
Okay, the next one, are we allowed to use apps? Meaning, Jennifer, can you please explain it a bit
Okay.
more?
Okay, while we are at it, let me tell you, some of you may think, okay, don't do shortcuts. Meaning, I need a report, I need a business plan. Just ask ChatGPT or AI to generate a report or a business plan. ChatGPT doesn't know your idea. It doesn't know your target market. It doesn't know your actual product. So it's going to generate some generic report as business plan. You can go awfully wrong. So don't go in that direction. Meaning, can I use application like ChatGPT to create business plans? You can try.
So the next one, sir, does the drawing need to be digitally only?
Oh, you mean hand-drawn figures or digital? No, any mode. As long as you can convince the people who are reading it, the idea looks good, it looks genuine. It doesn't have to be really, digitally drawn per se. If you can draw well with hand and it relates the information, that's fine.
Okay, sir. The next one, sir, if we do get shortlisted, how long do we have to pitch?
The time between shortlisting and pitch, how long is it, Vanita? About 2 months?
Yeah. But I think she's asking for the pitching time. It's 7 minutes pitching followed by 15 minutes Q&A.
Oh, if you get selected,
Yeah.
and then there is about 2 months for you to prepare. During the session, you are given that 7 plus 15 minutes. So the quick Q&A is longer than pitching,
Okay, another one, sir. For example, if you want to use this prototype, you would need to download an app to use it. Oh, shit.
Correct.
Yeah.
many of the products, okay, many of the products now comes with a hardware software combination. Okay. For example, I want to sell a camera. This is a very good camera or USB camera. And then I say, hey, in order to make this camera, you have an app that you can download free. So it's a combination. It's a selling point. Just that you cannot, in order to sell the camera, you have to give the software free. You cannot charge for the software. Nobody will buy it.
Okay, the next one, the product must be the brand new innovation or the product that already exists in the market.
It can be both. It can be brand new. It can be slightly new. Okay. Or it can be something that's in the market. Now, why are we discouraging people from just looking at the market? It can, but there are already, for example, something on the market, especially if it's for a long time. Okay, example. How did Tesla become such a huge company? We have been driving cars for 100 years. They're all cars. Tesla car also look like a car, but it is innovative. So he says, no, my electric car has this, has that. First of all, he changed the technology inside the car. So that's the selling point. The car is damn bloody expensive. So innovation helps entrepreneurs. If I'm selling another car, okay, don't get me wrong. If I'm just selling another car, then it will be like Proton. We didn't make money for 25 years until recently Geely bought over Proton. Why? Because we're just selling another car. In fact, we made loss for 25 years.
Sir, guys, any other question?
Okay.
Okay, so I
As I
think we can
said,
conclude, sir. Maybe you can give the final remark.
okay, thanks. As I said, if some of you, while you are preparing your business plan, if you think you have some questions to ask, first of all, you can direct those questions to the secretariat. Vanita will sort of compile and try to answer. But if there are many questions on some area or some particular area, we can also do another like a chat, a shorter chat like this on Google Meet or Teams or something, and then try to address those verbally or like physically like this. Okay, physically meaning on online physically. Yeah, I'm happy. The thing is, the more you ask, it shows that you are more interested in making something happen. You want to turn an idea into a business. This competition is helping you to think along that way. It may not be this product that you want to become and turn it into business in the future. It could be another product, but this is trying to give you an idea how and what are the things you must think and prepare before something can even possibly become successful. So business plan is important. Okay, with that note, I would like to end today's session and also thank Vanita for the preparation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And you can check out our webpage, the YTC 2024, for more details. Thank you, guys.